Come on in, come on in. Pull up a chair and tell me how you been. Mark Lowry wrote that. I think I'm going to do a video uh, promoting his sing-along show, which is called Just Whenever, because it's so edifying. He's a cool, down-to-earth gentleman, about 66 years old now. Former lead singer of the Gaither vocal band, Christian comedian, Christian speaker, and really, really cool. So I think I'll do that. We'll say hello to Brenda. Brenda Noyce is here, saying hello to Patrick. And also Teresa Panel, affectionately known as TP. Probably not thrilled with that abbreviation. Georgia Peach, hi there, Jack. How you doing? Brenda Sweeney, hey, Jack and gang. Belinda Taylor, got some pictures of you. You made your most recent trip to Household of Faith this past Sunday, I believe. Haya says, yeah, how do you write the word yeah? Well, I think it's with a Y, but who knows? Hi, Marianne Rossi, not Donna Rossi. Jane Justice. Good evening, Jack and everyone. So nice to have you here. As is Darlene Koberstein. Hi, Jack and all. Nancy DeMarco. How you feeling, Nancy? Are you up to snuff now? If so, I'll send you some in the mail. Well, hello, Jack and family. Christian Tackett. Good evening, you guys. Good evening to you, Christian Tackett. Where are you watching from? Miles Wright. Hello, Jack and everyone. No TP. Why don't you like that? It's Tezza. Yes, I drive a Tezza. Have for many years. I like it. And you're in Kentucky, so tell me, Christian, how far are you from like London, Kentucky, where, there was so much devastation. What, 19 people killed around the London, Kentucky area? Have you experienced a tornado yourself now or in the past? Boy, Kentucky, so many times, Kentucky and Tennessee. I know there's supposed to be high winds in Tennessee. Maybe Todd Bradshaw, if he comes in, can tell us about that. Neo Neon is here. Hi, Jack. Welcome, Neo, the puppeteer. And Angie Purdue Williams. I like those three names. It's like you could be, on your local news station. Are you in the Purdue family? The famous Purdue family? Good evening. Good evening to you. Where are you watching from? Tezza, because she likes to tease. Oh, we don't like a tease. Linda Justice. There's Jane Justice. There's Linda Justice. Hey, Jack, what's going on with you, Linda? I'm in West Virginia. Very, very nice. Yeah. Is it quiet where you live? I'm looking at the pictures and trying not to totally block them with the arm of the microphone. Well, it's not really the arm of the microphone. It's the arm that holds the microphone near me mouth. Right near me mouth. I'm from the Bronx, I may not sound like it, but heck, we moved out of there in 1959. What do I know about a Bronx accent except what I hear on the telly or in the movies, which can be the same thing sometimes. You got out of the shower on time to catch the beginning. Who got out of the shower? We have had a lot of wind today in East Tennessee, 74 degrees. I know that the wind was supposed to move in a night or two ago to Tennessee. And I wasn't sure if that would, they were talking about 80 miles an hour, something like that, I think. So that was kind of, we've had high winds here. I don't know if we've had 80 miles an hour. Maybe back in the 70s, I remember something like that. I remember. Um, Heather Feather is here. What's going on with you, Heather? What is new? David Howard. Hello, buddy. Tomorrow is my birthday, the 22nd. Oh, I thought you were going to say you were 22nd, but we don't tend to have 22-year-olds around here. We've had a few youngins come in, youngins. When you start saying the word youngins and you're from New York, it's downright strange. And you know, back in my day, that's another one. Yeah. Back in my day, we had disco balls and overalls and endless malls. Now the malls are called gallerias, and a lot of the department stores have left and they've been replaced by these urban fun centers, things like that, you know. Also, places for the kiddies to jump around. What do they call that? Jamboree? Something like that. We've got a few of those in the Galleria. Department stores, I think J.C. Penney is hanging on. I think they are, but not too many. Sears, of course, is long gone. Macy's hanging on still? Yeah, I think so. For how long, I do not know. Excuse me. Hi, Jack and everyone from Australia. It's Jackie Wurlitzer, Oregon. Welcome, Jackie. How you doing? What's your temperature there? I always ask you now because I'm always curious because you're in your fall. I see the kangaroos. They do it's very impressive that some of those kangaroos do Uber routes. They put the food in the pouch and off they go. Sometimes the lid comes off of the drinks though, and it's just a mess. Just a mess. Um, so David, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, David Howard. Happy birthday to you. On the 22nd of May, huh? Wow. There's quite a few May birthdays because people tend to, cuddle up as the fall chill hits the air. Trying to do the math real fast here as the fall chill really hits the air. Of course, now they're saying we're not having enough babies. Generation Z don't want babies. They want devices. Yeah, those devices too. But I'm talking about, these kind of devices, computers and what have you. Jack, it rained bad here in Detroit, Michigan for 2 days. Cold. The heat's on. Yeah, we were thinking about it. Here we are, 47 degrees right now. Tomorrow it'll be even chillier. As I look at like the 7-day forecast, it's not anything hot. Monday, I think I came in here. I do this little thing where I go from side to side every night. It's a duplex, and I am with Karen on one side. Then I come over here late in the evening, and I came in, and the guy downstairs doesn't know how to open up a window. That's well beyond him. So I thought he's going to be asking for the AC. He's going to be asking for the AC next. And the next day, there was no chance he'd be asking for the AC. And by tonight, he's probably thinking, gee, I should put the heat on, Tomorrow night, we may actually have to put the heat on for the overnight hours. It's that weird. It's that weird. My generation has some of the best music. Cars, clothes, 60s and early 70s. Yeah. I loved it. I loved it right through the 70s, and I like a lot of the 80s songs. Um, let's face it. Can you find a better pop record, especially for one for a DJ to talk up back before radio virtually died, thanks to program directors that don't know what the hell they're doing and what have you. Just the way it is. Might as well tell the truth. But Stepping Out by Joe Jackson, that's a great song. The Huey Lewis songs, great songs. But, then you start to get into the new wave and the Devo, Whip It, that's okay. But then it started to get a little crazier. But Gary Newman, Cars, remember that song? Turns out Polka Sean has a few Gary Newman favorites. And this fall, in the second part of the Psychedelic Furs tour, which will be coming this way, Gary Newman is opening for the Psychedelic Furs. So that's pretty good. But most of you would remember the song Cars by Gary Newman. I wish I could play you. I could go right to it and play it, but you'd never hear it. They'd block it. So I don't want to be struck with a copyright, Oh dear. Barbara Kendall, hello. There's 59 watching, only 16 likes. Please hit the like button. More people will see us. More people will be able to join us tonight if everybody hits the like button. So I'm told. I mean, subscribers plays a big role too. So please subscribe, like if you like anything at all, and hit the notification bell when we pop on. And we will be doing that soon. We will be popping on because it's time that I do it. I almost did the other night. Instead, I did a pre-recorded video talking about Kentucky and Tennessee and the whole Biden thing and what have you. And I want to make it clear, very, very sorry to hear of Joe Biden's diagnosis for terminal cancer. Nothing that I see in this man tells me he's a Christian. So it's time to accept the Lord. It's time to accept the Lord while proclaiming to be a Catholic, as one Catholic priest pointed out. He said, this man stands against everything Catholicism stands for, everything, and yet they let him take communion. And he says, but I'm just a parish priest. They could get rid of me tomorrow. Talking about Pope Francis, I'm no fan of Pope Francis. I'm not going to say he was great when he wasn't. I'm not. Pope Leo seems very promising, Pope Leo. That would be great. That would be great. Of course, for those of you who feel that the Catholic Church is completely satanic and what have you, it won't matter to you. You will hate it no matter what. Jesus would have to come down himself and say, don't hate the church. They may have been wrong about a lot of things, but there's some of my people there that really love the Lord and have lived sacrificially for me. It would take that. And then you'd say he was a hologram. So what can we do to convince you? I don't really know. I'm not one of those people that says it's impossible that you're right, those who are the Catholic haters. But I mean the Catholic Church haters, not the people. Hi, Joe Worrell. Just hit the like, Jack. Well, thank you. That'll be good. It's coming up a little bit. It's hard to get people to hit the like button in unison. I don't know why. Or Uniroyal either. You can't get that. My Skechers slip-ons, the black ones, I've said this before, the sole is made by Goodyear tires. Skechers are some good shoes, let me tell you what. They say only old people wear them. Well, whatever, I don't know. I love them, and they do have tie shoes, Skechers, by the way. I have a pair. I have 3 pairs of Skechers. One of them I'm wearing right now, my brown tan ones, really. Very comfortable, nice shoes. Very, very nice. I love your voice. Would have liked to hear you back in the day. Oh, dear. What a beautiful color of yellow, especially when it says 999 on the thanks button that's right down here. Thank you, Miles Wright, not to be confused with Miles Davis. But Miles is just a cool name to me, just as a cool name. That, I never heard a DJ named Miles, and I don't know why now. That would have been pretty cool choice. Miles Right on the radio. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. So thank you, Miles, for hitting the thanks button as we work on the June goal. Today was the May payday, and one of the things we're going to do with the May payday is we're going to buy a 4G camera. I'm going to order it tomorrow. I don't know if that means we'll have it for broadcast on Saturday off of Amazon. Did I say K? I think it's 4K, right? Not G, K. I get so confused. But G is for phone and K is for camera, right? Don't know. But I think it's time. We'll see how it handles the brightness on the pictures that get washed out. Hold on, let me move this a little. Nope. Amazingly, it did not make my cartoon face back there any better. I mean, the one on the bottom from Polka Sean that he did for me, that looks good right now. Karen is up top, and then two are washed out. And on the top, we've got Mr. Bob Joyce playing a guitar that looks like the one from Blue Hawaii. We're all good on the other side. We have my daughter Kaylee at the top, who I love with all my heart, soul, and mind. We have Pastor Bob Joyce from George Magazine. It says, Jack Willard on the Bob Joyce phenomenon. That was from last year. It didn't appear on the cover or anything. It appeared on the website promoting an interview where Gene Ho interviewed me. Then later on, I don't have that one up because they own that. I don't. And but you can find the interview I did with Gene Ho where I'm interviewing him. We talk in the first segment about, some of his history, where he grew up and how he became a celebrity photographer and then President Trump's photographer and things like that. And in the second the second segment, all done with his technology and then later emailed to me, we talk about the 2024 George Magazine live event. So we gotta see if we can find an update tonight. We got so much to get to. So let's do that. Before I know it, I say hello, and I swear every time when I look up at the clock to see how far in, my clock says 19 minutes in. 18 minutes on the computer, which would be the most accurate. That's how it often is. So I usually I put down in the replay, which will be available as soon as we finish this. I put in the start time of the content. But 29 people have hit the like. Please do. And thank you, Miles Wright, for hitting the thanks button for $9.99. I appreciate that more than you know, whether it's $1.99, $3, $5, $9.99, whatever. I'm very grateful. Jack, it's cold here today. 46, I know, right? 46 here right now as we speak. I got a sweatshirt on again. I didn't expect to be wearing a sweatshirt. High Speed Drifter is here. Where are you drifting off to? Where are you on the planet tonight? Justin Battinger. Hello, Justin. Welcome to you. Jackie, it's cold here. To my heart's on still. Brenda's speaking in tongues. Let's see, what else do we have here? Well, let's talk about this situation. Have you heard of, have you seen videos by the British chap who likes to wear those, we call them here in America, wife beater t-shirts? That's what we call them. He's got muscles, though, so he can do it. You know, I would not look good in this shirt he's wearing here. I'm just going to use a little fair use clip, which does nothing but promote his channel. So why would he object? He's talking about that book, Elvis, What Happened, which was written by Red West, Sonny West, Dave, and Steve Dunleavy. What the heck is Dave's last name? I can't make it out here. All from the Memphis Mafia. Elvis apparently was not happy with this book, but they felt they had to discuss some of the things that Elvis was doing to his body that they thought could kill him, the injectable legal pain medications and what have you. So I watch this guy from time to time. He never mentioned, so far, I have never heard him mention Bob Joyce. So far, I've never heard him call me a schmuck, I don't know. He may have, and that's all par for the course. If you're going to do a YouTube channel, it's just the way it is. It actually helps your views, I'm finding. It actually helps your views. But I'm just going to play the audio of this because, I'm technically stupid and I don't really want to play too much of his content. He likes to say the word yeah a lot in the British way. It's really not fair, yeah? That kind of thing. So he's got this video here called Red West Getting Revenge on Elvis Presley, Memphis Mafia. See, he feels that it's all a revenge thing, and his whole channel is called Defending Elvis Presley /fans. So he wouldn't like the Albert Goldman book. I don't know if he's talked about that, but that was a book that detailed some of the dark behavior of Elvis and what have you. And we all have that. So I don't think you're demonizing Elvis if you expose him as a human being like all the rest of us. We all have skeletons in our closet. We all have, sometimes we have things that we were accused of that we never did, What are you going to do about that? Even if you're totally innocent, they're going to say, well, I wouldn't have said that if it wasn't true. Someone will feel that. So are you going to live your life in the past, or are you going to live your life for the future? Are you going to let your past mistakes dictate your remaining future, whatever that may be? And none of us know how much it is. So let's play a little bit of this video. He's talking about Red West, who he's not happy with. And I don't think he mentions Joe Esposito. This same chap, by the way, what the heck is his name? I should know his name. I forgot to. I'm so sorry. You don't put it in your title, and I'm not remembering it at the moment. But he says it. He says it. He has a beautiful little daughter who comes in with her doll sometimes, and there's dogs that bark and what have you. But he does a lot of videos, You say, oh, some of these guys, they do a couple of videos a week. I'm on 2-3 times a day. Really? But then he says he has a job. So how do you do that? That's quite something. And this must be a fairly new video. It's not getting a lot of views yet. So I'm helping you out, because he has 28,000 subscribers. That's why I say hit the subscribers. I've only got 10,200 plus, but he's been around for a while. So let's hear a little bit of what he says about Red West getting revenge on Elvis Presley.
It's pretty obvious behind the scenes, this book really did upset a lot of people, especially Vernon and Elvis. Obvious, yeah? So Vernon wants to have his say, straight to the point. It was a betrayal, guys. This book was a betrayal, yeah? Remember, Dave Hebler stands by it.
Again, we do want to thank all of you. We appreciate all of your concerns and prayers at all times. Thank you, and sincerely, Vernon Presley.
And then he called me and said, Vernon said, Brett, we've got to cut back on some expenses here. We're spending too much money, and we're going to have to let some people go. And I can't explain the feeling. I just felt empty after all these years, after all we've gone through. But I knew, I'd gone and come back. I knew I'd never go back. I knew this was it. It was over forever. I grew up with Elvis Presley. I grew up and became a middle-aged man with Elvis Presley. And then all of a sudden, it's over. I knew the drugs had him. They were going to get him. And there was no turning back. And I felt sick. And I said, I'm going to write a book about my life story. And with Elvis. And in this book, I was going to try one more time to wake this idiot up.
To wake this idiot up. Now, how can I say it, guys? Remember, Red West grew up with Elvis. Grew up with him. Spent decades with him. We know that the circumstances surrounding them losing their jobs are very complex. There were many reasons. We don't know everything that went on. I personally think that Red West and Sonny West were up to no good. Same with Lamar Fike and Marty Lacka. There was bitterness, anger, revenge. They wanted to settle a score. They wanted to make money. Let's face it, the main reason they did the book was to make money. It was never to help him, in my opinion. So Red West had to live with what he did for the rest of his life. Yeah, I personally think he regretted it for the rest of his life. I have found a clip where someone says he regretted it.
Really loved Elvis.
I think Red West will never forgive himself for writing that book about Elvis because they were really, really close friends.
So that's a little bit of a video you can see here on YouTube. Red West getting revenge on Elvis Presley, choosing to call Elvis an idiot, kind of exposes you as someone who has an axe to grind. You don't call the king of rock and roll an idiot. You take away from the idea that you're just doing this because you're really concerned that he's got this prescription drug problem and that it needs to be dealt with because you're concerned that he's going to die. When you put it that way, you take away the illusion that anger is not motivating you. So what do you think about that? Tess J is here. We're going to show some pictures. Don't go anywhere. Including of Belinda Taylor again. There's 80 watching right now. We'll have Belinda's story on her trip to Household of Faith. Don't share it before I do, Belinda. We'll have that. It should be released at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Adam Davidson is here. Hi, Adam. Hello, Mr. Jack. Best wishes from Houston. Oh, you've got to go to if you're well, you got to go to Mark Lowry's birthday bash in Deer Park. Do you know where Deer Park is, Adam Davidson? I hear it's a suburb of Houston. If I could go, it's a 2-day thing and you can get tickets for one day or both days, but it's going to have some great gospel acts there. Some great gospel acts, and Mark Lowry, who's the former lead singer of the Gaither vocal band. Now he has the Lowry vocal band, and he's just a fun guy. Check out his videos right here on YouTube with his sing-along shows. For one thing, just whenever he comes on, pops on to sing off, and people join him. He puts the words on the screen, and it's really terrific. So that's coming up in October, I believe. Mark Lowry's birthday bash in Deer Park. I think it's Deer Park, Houston. We have a Deer Park right up the road, so I don't want to confuse it if it's Deer Field or something, but I guess it's Deer Park. How are you feeling, Adam? Zach Smith. I'm from the hometown of Woody Guthrie. Okay. Well, that's my neck of the woods, isn't it? His son Arlo, he's known for 2 songs, and one of them I'm forgetting at the moment. What's the long one? Alice's Restaurant. Okay. Alice's Restaurant. Yes, about 18-minute song. But his biggest hit was the Battle of New Orleans. No, the City of New Orleans. I'll get it. It takes me time. The City of New Orleans. So what Jimmy Sturr, you see his T-shirt back there, one of them, the Jimmy Sturr Band, they invited Arlo to do it polka style with them. It might be on the CD Coca-Cola, but I'm not sure. But because Jimmy Sturr is the polka king, but he does all kinds of other styles of music too. And so Arlo sang several songs with Jimmy, and he sang The City of New Orleans. And I tell you, the voice was identical to the record. It was done a number of years after he had the hit with it, but it sounded exactly the same. And Woody would come around here back in the day, back in the 60s, 70s. Woody would, well, he certainly was at Woodstock, and he would appear in Poughkeepsie and places like that, I think. So what's the hometown of Woody Guthrie? Georgia Peach is talking to Tessie. Please hit the like button. 92 watching right now. Subscribe if you haven't already, please. And scrolling down here. That's people for you, says Tessie. They make you think they care for you and they have ulterior motives. Well, he didn't like being let go, I guess. That's one thing. From millionaire to working folks, I learned that the hard way. Very interesting. You'll have to tell me your backstory, Tessie, in the email. Yeah, that's right, Brenda. They got a paycheck and free trips and stuff he bought for them. It's a gosh darn shame, she said, or something like it. Adam Davidson, I have been in the hospital 12 times since last October 5th. Oh boy. Surgeries, a heart attack. I'm getting better now. Are you really? I forget how old you are, Adam. Not that you have to tell me. But yes, we'll join you in that prayer wish. We'll pray for you tonight. Everybody keep Adam Davidson on your prayer. He's been through so much, just like other people here. Other people. Vernon fired them, but they sure liked his money. And the thing is that Red West, Sonny West, and what's his name? Steve Dunleavy and the other guy, they knew that the book would sell. And that becomes very tempting when, now you're looking for the kind of a payday that could make sure you don't end up working at the car dealership or at the factory at the edge of town. They want to keep themselves in the lifestyle that Elvis made for them, that they become accustomed to. Clearing my throat, not coughing. And, so it was very tempting. I'm sure that they were offered an advance on this, but then they had to split it 4 ways. So nobody got rich on that book. I wouldn't say, but, so this defending Elvis guy, he doesn't like the Memphis Mafia, especially those gentlemen. I don't know how he feels about Joe Esposito. I know he said in a recent video that there's someone impersonating Joe Esposito's son out there. His words, not me. I know nothing about it. The same guy came on here. I don't know. But you never know who you're talking to. I mean, Brenda Noyce could really be Priscilla Presley, and we just are all fooled. Jack, how is Karen feeling? Is she okay? Well, we've been living with this really for so long. She had surgery at New Jersey Brain and Spine. We were hoping that would make the pain go away. He was pretty upfront in saying what he was doing was just to shore up her neck so that, God forbid, she got rear-ended in a car accident, it didn't paralyze her, but he couldn't guarantee that it would do much about the pain. And he was right. It didn't do much about the pain. So, gabapentin and Cymbalta and all these drugs that she's on. And you can, as Sanjay Gupta says, eventually gabapentin becomes a problem. So we went to see who seems to be a brilliant surgeon down at Westchester Medical Center. He wants a CAT scan, which is happening not next week, but the Monday or Tuesday after it, and whether he can go in through the front or the back, and that surgery is going to be done relatively soon. We're not exactly sure yet. Esposito informed the colonel on private matters, says Sharon D. Welcome, Sharon D. Those guys have been there a long time, and were hurt when let go. Lawsuits for rough handling of fans, really. Of course, they weren't sued. Elvis was, and he paid. But per Vernon, it was too much money. Yeah, well, of course, any money would be. You really have to be careful what you do in a situation like that. However, if the person you're protecting is being injured in any way, you have the right to increase your force, to match the force. Obviously, if someone pulls a gun, you're going to pull your gun, that kind of thing. And I think you would be protected. But it's a gray area. I'm 60. Oh, yes, you're still a youngin'. And I will be 61 on 6/12. What am I doing on 6/12? There's so many things coming up. The calendar is filling up. I thought tomorrow I'd be going to Compassion Dental in that place with a P in Rockland County, Pomona. Da 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 da. My Pomona. I thought I'd be in Pomona tomorrow at Compassion Dental. I thought I was going to leave what I call the ghetto dentistry of this city, where they have a bazillion patients. So that means they don't care about you at all. They do care about making money. You'll wait weeks and weeks for a hygienist, and then because you can't see the dentist, so you see a hygienist unless you're in terrible pain, and then they say, "Oh, she called out sick. She's 22 years old. She called out sick today, so now it's 6 more weeks." Forget it. It's just like you gotta go far away. I used to go to Yonkers to go to the dentist back in the day because I didn't know there was a good one up in Newburgh. There's so few that take my Teamsters plan. So, okay, I'm going to Compassion Dental. They take the United Healthcare. But then I found out they call me and they say, we do take United Healthcare, but not your 237 plan, which, so now tomorrow we'll be back to square one looking for a dentist. And, I tell you, the ones around here, there might be one, but that I haven't tried. I'll see how booked up they are, because around, the bigger the city, the harder it is to get in, and the less they care, because if you've got more patients than you need, like the Galleria, oh, forget it. I went there. If you're the dentist from hell, let people know so we don't have to go through this experience to find out, So it's always tough, but we had a great one in Newburgh. Finally found them, took the union plan, and then the casino, Resorts Casinos wanted to put it's more of a, they don't have the tables, they have the slots and various other things, but they don't have, it's not a full casino. They needed more room, and they basically said, we can't come unless we can come out further than the department store that we're overtaking was, and that meant that the dentist was going to have to close, and the mall agreed to pay for new facilities to help him build new facilities further up in the mall. They got plenty of room, especially then. They had plenty of room in the mall, plenty of available spaces. But at that point, he decided to retire, and that was a downer. How I got off on that, Sharon D., I'll never know. Story was Elvis's stepbrother stopped drunk from trying to get Elvis' room. Was about to be punched, and Sonny stepped in, then read. You got to write slow so I can read it on the air. I can't make that out. But anyway, it's complicated. Hey, 3 Severed Heads, my favorite serial killer, hijack and all, Mike Mosier. Don't hit the send button till you read it, what you just read. That'll help because I won't be able to decipher. Sharon also said Esposito informed the colonel on private matters. Yeah. I'm not saying anything against, he's not part of this book from what I can see in terms of writing it. So, nothing bad to say about him at all. But Albert Goldman wrote in his book, the darker side of Elvis and the struggle with prescription pain medication, injectable pain medication that Dr. Nick prescribed him. Elvis demanded it, and Dr. Nick did it. So it wasn't all on Dr. Nick, But hit the like, yeah, please. Hit the like button. You're right, 3 Severed Heads. It's hard to get people to do that. That doesn't come up as fast. 89 watching right now. ATN need healing. Victory Temple Church. Woody Martin Ministries. This is a commercial. I can't. When you see a chance, take it, as Steve Winwood once sang. And you let us know where you are. Okay. And what else do we have here? If I've missed anybody, it wasn't intentional. Mike Moser, not Mosier. I want to put that H in there so bad. Just like with Miss Regaldo. It's not really Regaldo, but that's the way I want to say it because that rolls off the tongue, Put an extra letter in there and I got to think about it. Hello, Mike Moser. I know people say Bob Joyce doesn't look enough to be Elvis, but Pastor John Hagee is 81. How good he gets around like a 40-year-old, and he's fat. It was so funny because there was a time when John Hagee, during his daily show, I did used to watch John Hagee. I've been to the church. I've met John Hagee. That was in the 90s with my kids. And he has a room just for visitors when you go to his church. So, at some point he's going to come in and he's going to greet the visitors. But he had a daily show, and he had on this guy that had been on other shows that had helped other pastors lose weight and what have you. And so he was on there for a week of shows talking about nutrition and what have you. And, he was going to help Pastor John Hagee out. And I had seen with other pastors, he had been successful. But with John Hagee, I think John failed the course. Pastor Hagee failed the course. He just loves that food so much, and didn't work for him. And it doesn't seem like his son is catching on, right? I mean, he's sort of a chip off the old block, but I don't see him much anymore. But I don't watch the Daily Show, so I'm probably missing him. But he is like cut from the same cloth. Definitely the same kind of style, maybe a little more relaxed. William Shatner at 94 is a pretty good example. He gets around. He does the unexplained. He does other things. He's got a zest for life. He's a busy man still. And there are other examples. Of course, we should say R.I.P. George Wendt. Norm, right? From Cheers, 76 years old. He was heavy most of his adult life that I can see, from Cheers on, before Cheers. And so 76, I guess, is about what you can hope for when you stay heavy. He was on that show on Fox Nation with Dan Aykroyd and a few other of the old timers. What's his name? Who played the liar on Saturday Night Live? Lovitz, John Lovitz, all on talking about just some of their favorite stories while they have some brew. He was on there. That's where he was most recently. Robin Roman is here as well. And 101 watching. Well, there you go. 101. That must mean some new people. Hi, everybody. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Let's get to 10,300. We're not too far away. 10,300. Brenda Gaskill is here. Brenda Gaskill talking to Brenda Noyce. Well, isn't that shocking? My auntie turned 90, says 3 severed heads a couple of weeks ago. She looks great. Easily passed for late 70s. Yeah, people look different. The products are better. The procedures are better. The things you can do to keep yourself in shape, what's available to you. Like Karen likes the Suzanne Summers Gut Renew. And then now there's this ARMA, ARMA, that people, what is it? Colostrum. I've had some of that. The first milk from something, I don't know, but it's supposed to be really good for you. Really good for you. Kitty Hewitt. Oh, that name Hewitt brings back memories for me. Memories like the corners of my mind. I wonder if Pastor Hagee ever wore bell bottoms. I just can't imagine it. He's on his second marriage. He actually got divorced and married someone that was in his congregation. Everybody's got a history, Everybody's got a history. He married a Spanish woman. I guess she's Spanish. That was in his congregation. So there you go. No one can honestly say they don't have a past. That they didn't make choices that were not necessarily biblical or what have you. That's why we need the blood of Christ, the blood of Jesus Christ. My uncle had a banging party for his something and danced all night. By the way, my auntie hasn't used anything but clean living, right? Or does she eat a lot of candy and fried foods and all that? Some people can do that. Some people can smoke 2-3 packs a day and live into their 90s. It's rare, but it has happened. It has happened. Trying to think of a celebrity right now that smoked and got away with it. It happens sometimes. Overbuilt Automotive. Eat healthy, simple, really good stuff. Butter, eggs. This sounds like the Atkins diet. Dad was about dead until I took him out for a bunch of nutty stuff and listened to mainly Dr. Mark Sherwood's advice. See one of the guys I see here on YouTube, like the guy with the white hair. Janice Vernon joins us. Wow, I didn't know John Hagee divorced his Jewish wife, huh? I never heard a thing about that woman, but she is the mother of his children, including his son that looks like he was, well, he doesn't, it's not so much that he looks like his father, because I'm sure he's got a lot of his mother's looks in him, but preaching style and what have you, he copied Dad, he did. Whereas Joel Osteen did not copy his father at all. That's the interesting thing. You can say, well, his father was a much more biblically based preacher, talking about John Osteen. I used to watch him. But Joel Osteen came on with a style that was totally different. A lot of it was like positive thinking and um, much lighter on the scriptures and what have you. He uses more than he used to, but he became the number one voice on the planet. Joel Osteen, who initially started canceling the TV time when his father passed away. When he says he felt heard the voice of God saying, "Joel, what are you doing?" He said, "Oh, I'm calling the stations and canceling the TV time." Daddy died. I'm sure it was news to God, right? And he said, "I didn't tell you to do that. I didn't tell you to do that." So if you look at that, Joel didn't decide to be a multi-millionaire preacher. Wrote that book, Your Best Life Now, which sold a bazillion copies, and he lives in a $13-14 million house. God was in it. So I leave that all in the hands of God. The blood of Jesus covers all our sins. Amen. I hope so, Elaine, because otherwise, if his grace is not amazing, I'm in trouble. I'm in serious trouble. Because there's power, wonder-working power in the precious blood of the Lamb. How many times did I sing that over at Howell's Church? That and this is the day that the Lord has made. I don't think we missed that, or certainly Amazing Grace on any given service. I was an elder over there for a while. Not an elder, I'm sorry, a deacon. They weren't crazy enough to make me an elder, The seed oil is what not to fry in. Yes. Use peanut oil, no canola or other seed oil. I think it's all olive oil, Overbuilt Automotive. Olive oil, and it's got to be extra virgin. And it's getting harder to find. That was a little salty joke. I'm sorry. Take a tablespoon of olive oil before you go to bed. Before you go to bed, have a tablespoon of olive oil, extra virgin, not the rancid stuff that's been sitting on the shelf. Don't go to a supermarket that's not very busy. It's like going to a deli that's not very busy. You want to eat that stuff that's been sitting there for 2.5 weeks? Have at it. Have at it, Brenda. That's all I say. Amen. Thank you. Michael Moser, Power in the Blood. It's a beautiful song. It sure is. Mike makes me think of the late Carmen Licciardello, simply known as Carmen in contemporary Christian music. This blood's for you. He takes the Budweiser slogan and turns it into "This blood's for you." Yeah. Not a robot. Cold pressed olive oil. What's cold pressed mean? Well, when they did the process with the olives, they did it in when the olives were very cold, fresh and cold, right? Glass bottle, right? That all sounds right. How does olive oil feel about that? Well, she's dead. I'm sorry, she died. She went on to be a promising actress after working with Popeye all those years. She was wonderful in The Shining, but she looked like olive oil. She transferred well to human stature. And then she went crazy and she died. That's a shortened version. I agree, Kitty. For pastor to turn people in need away, I couldn't understand that at all. So obviously I'm jumping into the middle of a conversation here. Joel looks like a dried up prune. Are you using that President Trump saying of Bruce Springsteen? I don't know about that, but he's aging. He's definitely aging. Dr. Mark and his wife. She is the smart one, really. He was a baseball player about my age and built like a brick. Functional Medical Institute, Mark Sherwood. Okay. Brenda Sweeney. Good night, Jack. Well, thank you for stopping, Miss Brenda. Hope you'll come back soon. And gang, keep in prayer. I was in a car accident today. Well, what happened there? You don't have to tell us, but how's your car? And more important, how are you? Yes, I ran out of olive oil. Got to order some more today, Jack. Love it. Yeah, there's this guy that talks about that 1 tablespoon before bedtime. But I think that the trick is you don't have a jelly donut with some coffee and then have the olive oil. Go to bed just having the olive oil. So I was just reading about olive oil in healing oils of the Bible. Interesting. So Brenda Sweeney's on the prayer list. We have to put that down. Got some pictures to show you. Don't go anywhere. Come on, something right, will you? This is crazy. It's crazy. Okay, are you still here, Belinda Taylor? Are you? Faith Lloyd saying good night to Brenda. We'll pray for you, Brenda. Brenda and Brenda need prayers. Brenda Noyce. One teaspoon. I thought you were going to say of evaporated milk. Tap of what? And 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Yeah, I know people have used that to lose weight. And don't eat 3 hours before going to sleep. That's right. That's obviously good advice, especially for losing weight. D-Lyall 26 is here. How are you? Very, very good. Though, we all have our challenges. You can't be in the fourth quarter and not have challenges. So expect them and say, I can handle this. Some people I know seem to get more than their share. Good night, Jack and gang. Jackie Organ, yeah. How are you doing, Janice Vernon? Hope you're okay. And Mike Mosier. Got some new people here tonight. Some of the regulars are not here. Some of them are not. That I know of. You never know for sure because there's 101, according to this, still watching. 56 likes. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button, the notification bell. There's a thanks button down there at the bottom. And if you can, if you have Cash App, you can use Cash App. My Cash App handle is lowercase letters, Media Guy 56, lowercase MEDIAGUY 56. Media Guy 56 on Cash App for any amount, whether it's $1.99, $5 or more. There may be somebody that's been watching me for years. I can't believe I can say that. I've been on here years. I was 59 when I started this channel, and now I'm 69. And next spring, I'll be 70. What? Amazing. But if you are blessed by God and want to see this channel grow and take the stress off of me, as I try to supplement an income that's being increasingly challenged by everything from medical costs, Karen's medical cost, and just having enough money to have a little fun. It's getting hard to meet certain bills. I'm not going to tell you it isn't. It's funny with credit cards, I've enjoyed a wonderful credit rating for 2 solid years. Always paying more than the minimum. And they never ask you if you would like an increase. They just let you know, congratulations, you've got another $1,500 on your credit limit. And yet the high interest rate that they're charging you, like almost 30%, because at the beginning your credit, you were rebuilding it. They never alter or change that. In 4 years or 2 years, 3 years of having these cards, I never once took out a cash advance and never once paid the minimum or even near the minimum. Not one cash advance, not one. And then there comes a day when everything starts to get real tough. What are you supposed to do? Because the interest is crazy and things change and unexpected expenses come up and what have you. So that's how it is. So that's why I'm grateful for anything people do either on the Cash App or on the thanks button. It helps me and helps me tremendously. Some months are obviously better than other months, but we're not making big money in any month. These people you see with 500,000 views and constant high views, they're doing very well. But that's probably not going to be me because I don't have the tech ability. But we have a wonderful, loyal family here. And not everybody can say that. People that stand with me, and I'm very grateful. Let's see. Looking at the emails here. And I don't know what that newest one is about from 10:26 p.m. East Coast time. We'll be talking about Belinda's second trip and a new video that'll be released tomorrow morning. Let's see what kind of pictures I got to show you here. When we go live, you never know the quality you're going to get, but the last time it seemed to work out pretty good. It works better in a pre-recorded video with the exact same lighting. Why that would be, I'll never know. I'll never know, dear, how much you really didn't love me. I don't know who this woman is here, but we see Pastor Bob, and she's standing. I think he's signing something for her. And then next to him is a gentleman we see more and more, usually very close to Pastor Bob. I would say he's the leader of the team. He's wearing an earpiece. They all wear earpieces. Katina's not here right now, so I'm not going to show the picture of her daughter unless I see her pop up. I always say, there's the veins and the scars that people talk about and what have you. And, there are people that had this picture ready and now, okay, yeah. There are people that think the guy who came to the door, who I think is Robert Wayne Joyce. They think that that he's the same guy we always see. People say they've been to the church, some of them recently, and they don't feel that way at all. So the guy in the middle is the person who Greg Pritchard met when he opened the door on April 5th, 2025, the weekend that tornadoes were near Benton, Arkansas, and they had to cancel service. There was flooding. The power was out. And then you see on the other side 2 pictures, one with more of a beard than the other, so it's not exactly the same shot, although it looks like the same shot, just minus a lot of beard, you know. I think the guy that we see on the right and the left is Pastor Bob Joyce, and does look his age, and has more hair coming down in the front, more hair in general. And the guy in the middle with a young, smoother face and different eyes. I mean, it's all in the eyes. I mean, I would say that the man on the right and the left, who we know is Pastor Bob Joyce, who preaches most Sundays at Household of Faith, does look like Elvis, and the guy in the middle simply doesn't. I can't look at the veins and the scars when the eyes don't show me a man that could have ever conceivably been Elvis Presley in the middle. Okay? When I got the guy on the right and the left, I can't say it's the same man because I'm not Ray Charles. And here's those eyes again that I always talk about of Pastor Bob Joyce. I speak of possibilities. I could be wrong about the whole thing, though. Maybe he's the son of Elvis. I always like to throw in that sometimes. So there you go. And what else we got? Here's Belinda. She took a shot after she had her picture with Pastor Bob. She took a shot by herself in the front of the pulpit. In the background, you see Pastor Bob, and you see his main security guy looking kind of concerned, I think, Brenda. But Belinda, I'm not sorry, Belinda Taylor. So here she is. And here they are together. Belinda Taylor and Pastor Bob Joyce. Good photo. So there you go. There's some photos for you, everybody. 108 watching right now. We'll have the Belinda Taylor story, her visit to Household of Faith this past Sunday, be released tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, US of A. All right. 108 watching, 58 likes. Please hit the like button. Elaine Peterson, hello, hello, hello again. I know you've been here with us for a while now. Be careful when you type, because if the words don't line up, I'm not going to try to figure it out in real time. Everybody knows his name. Well, you want to go to a place where everyone knows your name, right? All right, let's go back down to the bottom here. Hey, Robert Gaylor joins us. Hi, Jack. Hello, Robert. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Worldwide Ramblings Wednesday, the 21st of May. Jackie Organ says it's 1 p.m. on Thursday afternoon, where I live in Australia. Yeah. And Belinda Taylor is here, so we showed some of your pictures, and we'll do that again in the pre-recorded video that'll be released tomorrow. If there's anything in there you don't want me to say, email me now and let me know, because I have not recorded it yet. So let me know. I don't even think I'll change shirts for this. I'm so comfortable in my blue sweatshirt when it's 46 degrees out there. Just Us Tree Service. Well, people, I have been known every once in a blue moon to go on to a site after I did a video that's not getting any attention outside the Bob Joyce topic and casually mention that it's there and hope I don't get screamed at, you know. What are your thoughts on Elvis living as his brother Jesse? There seems to be a lot of information out there to support it. I know of no such lot of information. I just know people like to say that. Then they go on, they expand it into the four brothers. There's Elvis. There's Jimmy Ellis. There's Jesse, and there's Tony. But could it be that at one time Bob Joyce was Jesse before Pastor Bob? I just don't get that feeling, you know. I don't get that feeling. I think back in the day we would have known that there was a Jesse around when Elvis was born. So my best guess is he died at birth, as they say. You know, we tell the whole story here. If you watch my video, The Verdict, here at this channel, The Virtual Church of the Disillusioned, 50 Reasons Why Bob Joyce May Be Elvis, many other videos where we kind of tell the story. Of course, the veins and the scars, people will say, no, it's got to be him because of the veins and the scars. And we have come up to like 8 dozen so-called coincidences and what have you. So I don't get that feeling. I don't get that feeling. I also believe in the two Bob. Okay, there we are, a little blip where I had to quickly reconnect. Usually in the past when we would crash, we would be down for a while. I'd start a second stream. Sometimes it would freeze in place, you know. But this happens so fast, I don't lose the audience with it. So I'm very happy about that. I can never understand. I don't know what YouTube did to change that crash factor, or the updating of our Spectrum equipment, which is some of it right outside my window. I don't know. So, you know, I'm not really a Jesse believer. But I don't condemn anybody who is. Mike Mosier, I don't care how much views others might get, Jack. You're the only one I will watch when it comes to the Elvis / Bob Joyce conspiracy. You know, I don't like the word conspiracy, I guess, Mike, because I don't think there's any evil in Bob Joyce's heart. It is a little hard to explain why, if this all turned out to be true, the amount of people that had to cover this story, you know, and follow the story that Elvis Presley has asked them to follow. It's a little weird to me. I know God's ways are not my ways. If God chose this way to bring Elvis into the pulpit, then that's what he chose. And, you know, I can't say any more about it. God can do what he wants, you know. But for me, Mike, what is really good is that we have built a rapport, and not too many people have that cover the Elvis topic. I really don't know about Donald Stone. I know he puts up videos a lot on X and what have you. But building a rapport, I think telling the story chronologically and laying it all out that way um, is a lot better than just throwing things here, there, and everywhere. And I said at the time that when you do that approach, it might work for a while, but you're going to see it. You're going to see it change, and that's exactly what happened. It went from I went from being mowed over like a steamroller baby to you know back back doing better in some cases. And as I've said before, if you have uh, another topic or another gift that's near and dear to your heart, it doesn't mean that that's going to transfer to that because you're getting hits speaking about Pastor Bob Joyce. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. This is a topic that draws people. We're able to talk about other things. We'll do 3 minutes of politics in a few minutes. Don't time me. I can't say it'll be exactly 3 minutes, but I know that, I know what people's favorite topic is. Um, Early on, I used to say, well, I feel I've all covered it. I had no idea when I said that, by the way, that this story would just continue and there'd be new stuff all the time and that the interest would only increase. I didn't know that. I had said if Pastor Bob had a problem with me doing this topic, he just had to video message me. So I knew it was him. And then I would have stopped, that never came, that video message. Truth. Why don't you let a dead man rest? Well, what can I say, Truth? That's so easy for you to say that. It doesn't take an ounce of effort, you know. I've been covering this story since 2018. We've gone through dozens and dozens and dozens of coincidences. I had to study, I had to develop sources. You don't like it. You don't agree with it. Could you be right? Yes. Yes. But there's so many things, and you're not willing to entertain any of them. So what you're saying is as easy as picking your nose. It's easy, but to come up with sources and to follow this story and to be willing to see what's right in front of your face and the new stuff that's happening. All I can tell you is that people here love the topic. And if you don't love the topic, it's not for you. There's plenty of groups out there where they don't believe Bob is Elvis. And if you try and say it that he is, they'll throw you out of there faster. We just hope that people will be respectful here, because if they're not, this is not the place for you. But there's a thing called the Bob Joyce phenomenon. And for goodness sakes, they're going to do a documentary. It's being filmed. It's being filmed now. So time will tell. And if I'm wrong, guess what? It is still the greatest entertainment story of all times. There's never been anything like it, not even close. The closest would be Paul McCartney, because there are a lot of twists and turns in the Paul is really dead theory. I'm not saying that Paul McCartney is really dead, because if so, he shouldn't be doing a tour with Ringo Starr in 2026, in my humble opinion. And I still say, if he's going to do one, get Julian Lennon on in the band, and I guess you just pronounce it, just spell it funny. It's Danny Harrison. Danny Harrison. Put him in there too, and that would be a phenomenon. Then they'll charge, $3,000 a ticket, and only rich people will be able to see it. What can we do? What can we do, Ted Richards? Welcome. Hello, Jack and everyone. I forgot it was Wednesday night. That's okay. Yeah, some people don't get the notification bell even if it's turned on if you're not near your device, and people have lives. I understand that. So there you go. It must be stressful for you, Jack. I unexpectedly spent all last week having lots of tests and scans, including an MRI, docs, and a nuclear medicine scan. Toxicology, I'm trying to remember what that is. A nuclear medicine scan. I didn't have to think about money at all. Feel blessed. Yeah, well, that's good. Some people make better choices than I did. When I was a radio disc jockey, I should have been striving to get into one of the top markets. Some of the people that I worked with would go on to become millionaires, and I didn't. They found some of them went to a record company. Remember those record companies, disc jockeys that were on the local station when I was not quite ready to start my radio career, would go on to be multimillionaires working in big markets like San Francisco, New York City. One jock this worked in both of those markets. But I said, well, my production skills are not that great and what have you. And, I can't get that far. So it was a self-fulfilling prophecy, and that's what happened. So what did I have to do? I had to take a job that I didn't want to do, but it wasn't all bad, pretending to be a peace officer at a homeless men's shelter for 19 years up outside the city in Chester, New York. It's closed now, owned by the city of New York, as I said. And so that helped me build a pension and a decent income for my two children, my wife, and what have you at the time. So there you go. But over the years, have been involved in a number of businesses that I started with my spouse, videotaping weddings and what else? Selling on eBay. I mean, at one time we had like 100 auctions up at any given time. That's the second marriage. Then going out with in my second marriage, playing fairs and festivals. My wife, I would say a professional clown. We developed that character, and we were touring in 9 states, playing fairs and festivals in 9 states. So we made money doing it, but never did we get to the big time. Never did we get to the big time. In terms of notoriety, all throughout my radio career, here in the fourth quarter of my life is when I have the most notoriety. A fan base, amazing. Another thing, if I stop doing the Bob Joyce topic, which everybody loves, I might be in a small room talking to myself eventually. And they can come and take you away for that. Trish Terry. Hi, Trish Terry. Welcome. Tammy Griffin. Tammy with an I is here. Elvis, Jesse, Tony, and then Johnny. And they say Pastor Bob is Tony. Yeah. How can I put this in the kindest way? Bullshit. It's the most honest way. Hi, Shane West. Are you related to Red West? Just thought of that. Just thought of it. You're not related to my friend, the late great disc jockey in this area, Mark West. I was there just before his passing in the ICU. He was at my 1985 wedding, good friend, Strange Bird, who had a duck at one point who lived with him and was on the air with him. Mort the duck. Rest in peace, Mark West. I hope you're in the kingdom of heaven. Graceland never gave us kids DNA samples. No, they're not going to. Pastor Bob has no desire to do such. It's not as easy as you think to get Elvis DNA. And it may be not what the Holy Spirit wants at all, What's going to come forth from the documentary? Will it be released in 25 or 26? I'm guessing maybe early 26. Who knows? We shall see. On Piers Morgan interview with Priscilla Presley, she mentioned that Elvis said he didn't know, but maybe he was supposed to preach. Yeah, she said that a number of times. This guy who has the channel that we talked about earlier and play a clip from defending Elvis, he's no fan of Priscilla. But he says this is not a hate Priscilla channel, he says, he does bring up I guess the biggest shock of the Lisa Marie Presley Riley Keough book, Beyond the Great Unknown, where one of the boyfriends of Priscilla was sexually abusing Lisa Marie for up to 4 years, and she told her mother in the beginning, and she immediately left the room, and she came back with the offender and said, what was his name again? It's not Michael. That was Lisa's, the father of her twins. She said, he would like to apologize to you. But the abuse didn't end there. His touchy-feely type abuse, that kind of abuse. Kisses and touching type stuff. So you would think that if, that she had any relationship with Elvis then and Elvis was still alive, Elvis would have made sure that he ended up in a landfill. There's a difference between killing and murder in the Bible, There's justifiable killing and then there's murder, which you cannot do. That's a sin. Killing is throughout the Bible. David took his slingshot to do it. Yeah, conspiracy, I just think is, first of all, I don't want to be known as a conspiracy theorist. The Daily Star called me that when we talked about Bob Joyce and Matt Joyce appearing to show up at the George Klein funeral in Memphis, Tennessee. George Klein by now, the Memphis DJ that was on the Sirius XM Elvis channel in the last years of his life, on the big AM station before that, playing a lot of Elvis music there, exclusively, I guess, Elvis music on Sirius XM. And he was known to be the best friend of Elvis. That's, I think, what Elvis called him. And Elvis gave him a Cadillac and all that. So when he died, I was doing the topic by then. I wanted to know if Bob Joyce was going to go to George Klein's funeral, and by all that we could see, he absolutely did. We only saw the back of his head and what looked to be Matt's back of Matt's head in the front row on the left-hand side. Noticing that got me into the Daily Star, which I guess is like the Inquirer in the UK. They put a piece of our video up on their website, and they did a story in the newspaper. So that was the first time that anybody important talked to me. Gene Ho would be the second one. No big deal, Mike. No big deal. I understand. Commodores have 2 kids of original members in the group. That happens a lot these days. You got to have somebody related. You're not supposed to go out there with no original members, no link to the original members. It really is supposed to be one original member, But I've been told that on a number of occasions, Foreigner goes out with nobody because what's his name from Foreigner? I'm not talking Lou Gramm because, he comes from time to time. He's out there with them, but he's got health issues and the voice isn't what it used to be. And he's really trying hard to do well for the people. And I admire that. So wrong. So nothing wrong with bringing in the next generation if they have the talent. I understand what you're saying, but you really got to make sure that the audience, before they buy the ticket, knows there are no original members. I mean, heck, these 50s doo-wop groups have no original members most of the time. We know that. Sometimes they have someone who took over while the original member, lead singer, the Platters do this, while he was still alive, he asked this guy to take his place, you know. So they go out, and we saw them at the Paramount Theater at Christmas time at the Jimmy Sturr Christmas show, and they were phenomenally good. 3 people, including a female, that I don't think they had in the Platters originally, but they were great. They were great, you know. You don't often see a tribute band that is awful, you know. You don't see that. I thank you, Mike, for your compliment. That's very nice. And not everybody's going to be a fan, and that's YouTube, you know. That's YouTube. I understand that. God put Elvis, Bob, where he is today to bring us all home to the Lord. Well, to be part of it, you know, he's part of that. It's the blood of Christ. It's accepting Jesus into your heart. Nobody can do that for you. It's a one-on-one experience with Jesus Christ that brings us into the kingdom. But Pastor Bob is an encourager. He's a teacher. He's not the kind of teacher that's going to go verse by verse and, you know, bring out things. Oh, wow, I never knew that verse meant that and stuff like that. That's not the kind of preacher he is. He's an encourager. Tammy is still with us. The Carpenters now has Carpenters in it. What does that mean? First of all, it was Carpenters. It was never the Carpenters. There's this wonderful woman in England, Harriet, that sounds exactly like Karen Carpenter. So for proof of that, because she doesn't like to do Carpenter songs, because everybody says, please do Carpenter songs. Please do. Why don't you do Karen Carpenter on Broadway? And I think she should. She'd have to put on a dark wig. She's blonde, or dye her hair, whatever. But it's eerie. If you believe in reincarnation, and the math works, by the way, I think Harriet's young enough. Wow, Harriet. She just goes by Harriet, and she sings Yesterday Once More. And I cannot tell the difference between Karen and her in that song. Now I want her to do Superstar and Rainy Days and Mondays and Goodbye to Love and all that, and she doesn't. She does an incredible version where she rewrites half the song. I guess she was given permission. Barry Manilow's big hit, Trying to Get the Feeling Again. She does that song. It's so great. I can't tell you. Harriet. And she never seems to tour the United States because she hasn't really built up the fan base there. It's all in England. She does She's Out of My Life, and she doesn't change it to He's Out of My Life. She does it She's Out of My Life, the Michael Jackson song. He should have been the one singing He's Out of My Life. I'm just kidding. But anyway, phenomenal job on that. Harriet, today's Karen Carpenter, blew me away when I heard her. I cried. I did. Here's Katina Swatsworth. She has joined us. That means she's come back from Bible study, potentially. I don't know. Karen is alive. Oh, please, Jane. That's probably an indication that you don't believe Elvis is alive. I don't know. But what a tragic tale, though, you know. It was funny because early on, there was a review written when they first came out, and it was a glowing review from this New York writer. And he put the word chubby in there because at the time she was a little chubby, but yeah, she was fine. She was fine. Obviously, she wasn't your classic beauty. She was more of your girl next door beauty, you know, and we loved her, and that's fine. And first thing that Herb Albert had to do, was it Herb? He had to say, Karen, you've got to get away from those drums. We can find another drummer. You got to come out front. You got to come out front. And they convinced her to do that. But she was very subconscious. And so he wrote chubby in the review. And she read this glowing review, and she heard one word when all was said and done: chubby. And that guy regretted writing that one word. And of course, she became anorexic and she eventually passed away. Such a sad, sad story. Nobody until I have to say Harriet. It's so weird. That's all I can tell you. No one came close to matching that voice. But Harriet has done it, and I'd be lying if I said she hadn't. So check her out. Check her out on Spotify or YouTube Music. She, if I believed in reincarnation, I'd say she is the reincarnated Karen Carpenter. I don't believe that's true, Shane. So you can promise, but yeah, okay. Elvis is my dad, so I got it. I got who you are. Now the question becomes, how obnoxious will you become? We got to keep an eye on you. Okay. Yeah, we spot him pretty quickly, don't we, fancy Nancy DeMarco? Excuse me. I'm surprised we don't get more. Amazing that it's like almost rare. I love the Carpenters' great songs and music. Me too. Me too. We Only Just Begun was a bank commercial running in California. It was for a California chain of banks, and Paul Williams wrote it. And he didn't write a song. He just wrote a little jingle. We've only just begun to live. He had 4 or 5 lines, and I'm not sure who it was, whether it was Herb Alpert. If I say Herb Albert, I'm mispronouncing his name. If it was Herb Albert, it could have been. Very likely could have been. Could you make that into a full song, Paul? And he did. He did. And it became the second big hit for the Carpenters. Their first release was Ticket to Ride by the Beatles, which was phenomenally great. However, did not really do it as a hit. They needed something stronger, and Close to You, once that came out, became the song that launched them into superstardom. All right. Robin Roman, when I visited Household of Faith Church, the lady next to me told me that she thought that Bob was Tony. Yeah, what can we say? Remember, 75% of the people that go there are visitors. They're not the regular people that come in through the side door. She was most definitely a protector. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, though. Not all of that 25% are protectors. Some of them are kind of chatty. Some will take you to the real Bob Joyce house with the big black gate around it. What can I tell you, trying to redirect me. Yeah, there's a lot of those Elvis protectors. She stopped after I shared my 9-year study. Very good, very good. She could see she would not be able to pull I would try to come up with something more clever than the standard line, the wool over your eyes. Give me an Elvis. Cinnamon? See, you can tell I have a GED when I got to think of the word. SYNOMON. I can't even think of it. I want to thank Three Severed Heads so much. Thank you, Three Severed Heads, for hitting the thanks button for $20. I appreciate that so much. This is for the 3rd week in June now. We're a little behind in June, so that helps us, helps the goal. When I say a little behind, I mean of the bare minimum I need. I mean, it's been since the summer since I had wow, well, when I say wow, I got to qualify it. When I had more than I thought I would get. And I thought, okay, I can meet all my obligations this month, no sweat. And then we kind of nosedived in January, February, and but people like Todd Bradshaw came along, and probably before that, and helped me get through that period. But there's always been this a number of people in the family that do that. And as I say, as nice as $20 is, $2 is nice too, on the thanks button that you see right here, or the Cash App, lowercase letters Media Guy 56, MEDIAGUY 56. I get more of it when you hit the Cash App, but as I say, and I sincerely mean it, I thank YouTube, I thank Google so much for the thanks button that you see right here. I read about a carpenter from a long time ago. Yes, and isn't it interesting that Pastor Bob Joyce has real carpentry skills? Some people say he was a carpenter for a number of years, working in a union. I've heard that from more than one person, but who knows? We do have a lot of unaccountable years. Why he would do that, though, I do not know. And we're going pretty fast now, 105 watching. Belinda Taylor talking to Mike Mosier. Exactly. Paul Williams is still alive. Yeah, that's right. He is. He's hanging in there for a little guy. He wrote so many beautiful songs. I wish I could think of some of them now. Give me some Paul Williams songs. I know he wrote more than We Only Just Begun for the Carpenters. And of course, he appeared in the Smokey and the Bandit movies. Yes, he did, with Burt Reynolds and Jerry Reed, and of course, the lovely Sally Field. And I've told that story before when Burt was on with the late, great, I'll call her that, late, great, jeez. I hate when this happens. Barbara Walters, or Baba Wawa, as she was portrayed on Saturday Night Live as, with Gilda Radner playing her. Barbara was not so amused. She met Gilda Radner and she said, "Okay, do what you do." And she went through her Baba Wawa routine. And Barbara Walters' response was, "I'm working on my R's," and walked away. But when she was interviewing Burt Reynolds, he assumed that since he had had this long relationship with the much older Dinah Shore, that she was the love of his life, And he said, and she proposed to that when he said, "Oh, no, she's so wonderful. At a time in my life when I really needed her, she grounded me and let me know what was important in life and what have you. But I can't say that she was the love of my life." And she said, of course, "Well, then who was the love of your life?" And he said, "It was always Sally. It was always Sally, but I blew it. Made me cry then, makes me cry now." Because I think of other things in my own life, my 2 failed marriages and my non-relationship with my daughter. So, didn't get to talk to my son today, talked to him this week, but I missed him on Tuesday because I got up too late. I hate when that happens. Katina, do you want me to show that picture of your lovely daughter? I will be glad to do it. I think you already gave me permission. So we'll do that. But I'm seeing good night, Katina. Hope to see you here on Saturday night if you can. Are you still here, Katina? Want me to show that picture before you leave? I will. Chilling in Canada, huh? And Paul Williams wrote the rock music Phantom of the Paradise. I haven't heard of that one. But I wouldn't be surprised that he wrote a Broadway play. I wouldn't be surprised at all. We may have lost Katina. I don't see her here. So sad when Karen would look so she was so slender, well, she became anorexic, you know. And it was just sad that she focused on the guy who called her chubby, because he took that back and was very sad that he ever said it. But that can be enough sometimes to set somebody off, you know. Obviously, she could have done real well in that department. She was Karen Carpenter, pretty woman, girl next door type beauty, not a classic beauty, but she would have had no problem finding a handsome husband and what have you. Well, check out Harriet, Robin, if you haven't. She is worth a listen. Linda Justice, Buford T. Justice. Yes. You're putting a smile on my face. Was named after my uncle Buford. He was friends with Burt Reynolds as a teenager in Florida, in Jupiter, Florida, or did he move there later? I know Burt Reynolds had a theater in Jupiter, which I would have loved to have visited. I imagine he must have done some work there. Isn't that interesting? Buford T. Justice, played by the late, great Jackie Gleason, was just phenomenal in that role. He did Smokey 1, 2, and 3, and was famous for rewriting the script right there in real time, because he wanted it to be funnier. You know, he wanted it to be funnier, and who wouldn't know how to make it funnier than Jackie Gleason? So there was a scene where his son, who played his dumb deputy, went to the bathroom, and Jackie Gleason wrote the scene where he comes out with his zipper down, and, you know, he's trying to pull it up, and he's saying, "Daddy, I can't get my zipper up." So Daddy goes over to his son and he kneels down, and then the crowd gathers around, and he can't get the zipper up, supposedly. And then he notices the crowd that are now looking at him, watching the sheriff kneeling down before the deputy. And he says, "Get in the car, Junior." The genius of Jackie Gleason, the genius. Rest in peace, Jackie Gleason, for all the laughs. Yes, and some serious stuff too. What did he play? The pool legend. Not swimming in the pool, but the pool table legend. What was that name? I can't think of it that he played. But he was terrific. He could obviously be a serious actor too. Speaking of Jupiter, Florida, here comes Jupiter's Realm. Do you think Elvis kept in touch with Willina? That reminds me of an email. Was that from you? Yeah, now you reminded me. I got to go to the email here. And it's a good thing I did. Oh, Todd, where did you come from? You just popped up. He's becoming like the Phantom of the Opera, or the Phantom of Tennessee. I'm not sure. But Todd Bradshaw, hi. Here you are right here, my friend. You're stuck to, you know what you're stuck to? You're stuck to that picture of the girl who passed away, sadly took her own life, with Prince Andrew. Looked real happy when she was with him, but ended up wanting a payday, and eventually she took her own life in the last few months. And that is very, very sad. She had kids. Todd Bradshaw, everybody. I feel funny when I can't see you on the screen. There you are. I think it's time for you to get some 8x10s and become an actor. I was telling the audience before, I don't think you were on, I don't know, that tomorrow we order the 4K camera. Maybe it'll be here for broadcast on Saturday. I don't know. But tomorrow is the day. We did so much running around today, and then it was time to come over here before I knew it. and didn't get to do it. So there you go. So I got thank yous, and then I'll read some emails to you. Don't go anywhere. We're still having fun. There's 96 watching, 72 likes. Please hit the like button, the notification bell, and the thanks button if you can. Minnesota Fats, that's right, says Tessie. Thank you. And he was thinner when he played that, wasn't he? John Paul Cunningham. Welcome, John Paul Cunningham. Nancy DeMarco speaking to Jupiter's Realm. Christian Tackett is still with us. The Sting. What about the Sting? Hold that comment because I can't see them when I go. He is handsome, isn't he, Nancy DeMarco? I think he's a stud muffin. Yeah. Yeah, chilling in Canada, Minnesota Fats. Indeed, says Robin Roman. So let's go to the email. And I have thank yous. Todd Bradshaw is at the top of the list because that's the order. Sent you $20 for thank you, Jack. Have a great something. I don't see the rest of it. I'll see it later. Thank you. Thank you, Todd Bradshaw, very, very much for hitting the Cash App, lowercase letters, Media Guy 56. What are you saying to me, Brenda? Jack, you're fine on whatever you like to say tomorrow. I forgot to mention, well, she's telling me more of the story. So now I've got 2 emails to check when I read the story. Cool beans. Belinda, sorry about your jeans being eaten away by moths. We have to get some new jeans for Belinda. Tammy Budge. And by the way, if you don't want me reading your name, you got to send me an email ahead of time so I won't do it. Sometimes I know that somebody's using a different name than they use here. I don't know that. And now I do see it. So too late. It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. It's too late. The Cornelius Brothers and Sister Rose that also did Treat Her Like a Lady. Try releasing that song today in 2025. Try releasing Treat Her Like a Lady, and Rachel Maddow will come to your house and beat you up. Tammy sent $10 on the Cash App. Thank you, Tammy Tessie. Thank you. Not to be outdone in the Tammy world, Tammy with a Y being Tammy Tessie, we have Tammy with an I, Tammy Griffin, sent $10 praying for you and Karen. Thank you very, very much. Isn't that nice? Appreciate it very, very much. So, who asked me the question now? Not sure. I got to check out some of these. Haven't checked out the emails yet, so I can't really comment on them. AB sends a post from Pastor Bob on X. Well, he doesn't belong to X, doesn't post himself on X. So somebody talking about Elvis and Jesse, so it's definitely not Pastor Bob himself. People, fake handles and stuff like that. Pastor Bob has gone out of his way to say he does not have an account on X, but I will check out what you sent, but it's not going to convince me that Jesse's still alive. There's Marianne Rossi, not Donna Rossi. How you doing? Okay, let's see your question here. It may be the one. Yeah, it's the one. It's the one, Marianne. I have a quick question for you. I was going to wait until tonight when you were on, but every time I do, it grows so fast. Sometimes you miss it. Okay, here comes my question. I forgot this, but has Wallina ever admitted that she is, in fact, Wallina from Germany? Well, no, she would never admit that. And I'm not saying she was from Germany. It's not out of the question. But I think what my gut feeling has always been is her father was in the military in Germany, the same time Private Presley was there. For some reason, I think maybe her father was a man of influence, a rank, who could arrange a meeting between his daughter and Elvis Presley. So she did that. I think she was only about 15 at the time. Others will vehemently disagree with me on this timeline. And we know that Elvis tended to date young girls. What am I going to call a 15-year-old a woman? Because it sounds better, you know. I mean, she sure looks like her, and I'm 99% she is, but I just need to know if she ever openly admitted that she was the one who went out with Elvis in Germany. No, she would never do that because she's in line. She'd have to stay in line with the story. There's a story here. There's been a press release of how we're going to tell this story, and you don't want to link yourself to Elvis Presley in any way, shape, or form until and when the day Elvis says he's still alive and has been, and he faked his death, and this is the reason, and da 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 da. So you know, loose lips sink ships, and no, she wouldn't do that. She wouldn't do that. I don't know if anyone's ever asked her directly that. That's went to Household of Faith. I'm not 100% sure she is that woman or that girl. I think so, but I'm not positive. We speak of possibilities, you know. So thank you, Marianne Rossi. Maybe someone will have some input on that. But then when they have input, you got to figure out the validity of the source. Some sources, you know, you can trust, and some sources you have no clue, and some, you know, they're full of donkey dust. Yeah. So there you go. I think that's most of the new ones. Marty. Hi, Marty Greco. Maybe you're watching the replay if you're not here live. Yes, he showed us the picture of three guys. Hey, Jack, I found this pic on Pastor Bob's official Facebook page. I think it is quite interesting, especially of the guy standing there with the earpiece. I'm told they all have earpieces, and there's three of them. Are you thinking the same thing? I am, sure. Couldn't that be one of the bodyguards everyone talks about? Yeah, we have shown this. So we've shown at least two of the gentlemen. I am working the evening shift. I see. So I do not go home till 10 p.m. Is that 10 p.m. East Coast time or Central time? And I am beat. I understand. That is why I haven't been on chat lately, but I'll be back. Cheers, Marty. Thank you, Marty Greco. And yeah, I don't know if yeah, we showed that picture. You showed the picture of the one guy that has the earpiece, and he always is the guy who's closest to Pastor Bob, the guy most likely to throw me in the mud if I should visit. Oh, dear. But again, here, if you tuned in late, is that Marty Greco picture. I don't know who that woman is there. Pastor Bob is signing something, and he's looking on. And he's wearing an earpiece. You can clearly see it. Glad I came in closer this time. So those of you who say, oh, there's nothing to see here, there's nothing to this story, you're either an Elvis protector or what else would you say, right? This is a local pastor from Benton, Arkansas that sometimes has visitors from 13 countries in the sanctuary at one time. What do you want from me? Rubber biscuit? Anybody remember that song from the Blues Brothers? I don't know. 101.1 WCBS FM, New York. Oh, it used to be a great radio station, CBS FM. Total shite now. Total shite, ruined by program directors that, oh my God. I don't know where they think people want to hear the same tired songs from the 80s over and over when the greatest songs were before that. and then they stick in this crap from the 90s. They'll play a good song from the 80s, then they'll stick in the crappiest thing that doesn't fit. You're supposed to know what fits, you know? A segue is important. Gee, they weren't even born when the Beatles were out, so they think going to some dime store funky tune from a girl who sounds like a bazillion others after you just played a song by Bon Jovi is good programming. And yet they were successful. So what can you say? But they also helped kill radio, in my humble opinion, music on the radio. Now it's all talk and sports, you know. Even the news channels are going out. CBS Radio in New York, News Radio 88 is gone. I never thought I'd see that. We only have one news radio channel now, 1010 wins. Yes. Hello, Todd. Balu. Todd Balu. Has anyone ever looked into her, like, birthplace? That word "like" in there tells me, like, have you done your homework? Jack, Gene Ho, he said she was Elvis's girlfriend, but he said it in Elvis's, he mentioned when he said, Elvis's girlfriend in Germany, but, it was kind of the way I heard him say it. If he said it again, I don't know. It was kind of in levity, but maybe not, Sure, he's given all kinds of little barbs and clues, and so has the pastor himself. And yet, we're not supposed to notice any of this, and you people should be ashamed of yourself for liking this story. Hey, if the Holy Spirit has arranged this so that the majority of people think we're nuts, I'm okay with that. I'll be a fool for Christ, I don't want to be the guy. People never believe that, but I really don't. I don't mind if they mention me. I don't mind doing a few interviews later on if it all comes out. I don't mind that. I mean, I have to go to New York City. I haven't been there in years now. I'm scared. I'm on parking and Port Authority, and they're not going to be sending a limo for me. I can forget that. So I'm going to have to park in one of those garages, like around Broadway, and walk up to the studio from there. I've got it all figured out. Jody Smith is off of work. That's good. Jack, please give us your Cash App name. Well, it's just a handle, It's Media Guy 56, MEDIAGUY 56. Lowercase letters, very important. Media Guy, MEDIAGUY 56 is the Cash App handle. All right. So thank you, Marty Greco. Probably watching on the replay for that. And this is wonderful. I've never been so optimistic about this channel. Not everybody knows this, but I suffer from anxiety. My first two wives know it, and it screwed up a lot of things because I overreacted to things, including managing my second wife in her career. I was always worried that we were going to not be on time and that they were not going to bring us back, because when you're a touring act like that, you're hoping to get the gig next year. And, made a ton of mistakes. And, in this relationship with Karen, things that I knew what the score was when I came in. I knew there was going to be no hope really at the beginning that we could ever leave Middletown. I knew that coming in, that just wasn't going to work. There's nothing like New York City benefits, and that was going to be needed and all that. I mean, New York State benefits. And so I knew all that, but yet, even to this day, I sometimes forget my pledge just to concentrate on my blessings, travel as much as I can, which is not a lot. that it's a privilege. It's an absolute privilege to be with Karen in the fourth quarter of my life. Things are going crazy here. In the fourth quarter of my life, someone I've known since what is going on? 1965. Uh-oh, the world is ending, folks. I better check. And then I'll finish what I was saying. See if, first of all, if I've gotten any text. Well, sometimes my text alerts me a new viewer that I have never mentioned this name. And I'm so thankful. As I say, any amount is very much appreciated. So let's go to that. And we see, you've got to let me know if you don't want me to use your last name. And you didn't. But Larry March sent $5 on the Cash App. Hi, Larry. Welcome to Worldwide Ramblings. As far as I know, you are brand new. But you may have been watching for a long time and I just didn't know it, or you called yourself something else, or really you're Larry David and you think I'm funny. Wouldn't that be something? Larry David. Oh, people say, oh, he's anti-Trump and everything. Yeah, most of them are. And I just say he's still a comic genius. I'm not going to stop liking Larry. I'm not even going to stop liking Bruce's music, some of it, because he's stupid politically, in my humble opinion. And if you disagree with me, that's certainly your right. But thank you, Larry March, for $5 on the Cash App, and welcome. I'd love to know in the comment section here where you're from, where you watch from. I always get a kick out of knowing. Elaine Peterson sent a $5 donation as well, so that multiplies into $10. And then we multiply Todd Bradshaw, who sent 20. Look, we're up to 30. Then we go to Tammy, who sent 10. We're up to 40. And then we go to Tammy with an I, Tammy Griffin, not Tammy Tessie. She sent 10, and so did Tammy Griffin, $10. So we're up to $50. It's just that easy, and that's very helpful to me. It's very helpful to me. Thank you very, very much for doing that. I appreciate it more than you will ever know. I never, for years I did this and didn't make 5 cents. I didn't even have enough subscribers to go live, So I'm sitting here doing Bob Joyce, and I never made a penny, and I love the topic, and I did it. And then one day, I guess it was Nancy DeMarco who said, why don't you have a thanks button? Everybody else does. Why don't you have a thanks button and mention it, I thought, well, I guess I should do that because, especially I knew when my retirement income took a hit that I wasn't expecting, I could really use that. And my goodness, thank you for doing that. This is all for, with the Cash App, I get it pretty much right away, or I wait a few days, and I get all of it, or just a small amount taken out on the thanks button. Google takes a portion, but it really helps me what I get there too. So I have no complaints. So thank you, Larry, Elaine, Todd, Tammy with a Y, and Tammy with an I. Thank you very much. All on the Cash App there. Larry is from Seward, Alaska. Wow. That's so cool. Have you been in that show, Larry, Life Below Zero? I have watched that show, and I find myself worried about the dogs, Oh, they say they love it. They love Below Zero. But yet the people, hey, that's where what's his name lives from the Gutfeld show, who we saw at a comedy club in December. Jeez. Lives in Fairbanks, Alaska. I'll think of his name in a second. Somebody tell me his name. The funny guy from the Gutfeld show. So Larry, when did Did you probably announced that earlier? I can miss things, see? And Faith Lloyd, I'm glad you're still with us. Sue A. Todd, thank you. Had to catch up on all the people wishing me happy birthday. Oh my goodness. You finally hit the big 3-0, Sue A. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Susan. Happy birthday to you. I can't say there was a Susan that played a role in my life, but there certainly was a Suzanne. Of course, I'm simply talking about Suzanne Summers. Here she is right here. God rest her soul. Suzanne Summers. Karen gives me some of her Suzanne Summers products. Her family is on there now. Her daughter-in-law and her grandchildren and her late husband, Alan Hamill, who's 88 and a stud muffin. This is Suzanne Summers Nourishing Body Lotion. I know Jill. I don't know if Jill is ever on here. I haven't seen her lately, like Suzanne Summers. And I love orange. I love peppermint. This is orange. I put it right by my nose sometimes, just so I can smell it. It smells like St. Joseph's orange aspirin crushed up. Suzanne Summers. Organics. Everything's got to be organic. If you have slippers, they got to be organic, And I like to apply this in the morning after my shower, And then I got over here. It's just Karen's addiction, but she tries to be careful since we don't have much money, and I maybe point that out to her too often. Here's the body butter. This is the peppermint body butter. I can't see it at all. It's completely washed out. Okay, there you go. Suzanne Summers body butter, peppermint cream. Lovely. I love peppermint oil. Spray peppermint in the bathroom, on the rug and stuff. Smells all pepperminty because I live with Bigfoot on this side of the duplex. Oh, peppermint. So lovely. I got peppermint and I got orange tonight. But she also has products like the Gut Renew, the powder, and the collagen custard and things like that. And they're very good products. Obviously, they don't make them themselves. They find the very best makers, and then they put their name on it for a price. And so the Gut Renew actually does help. It's very, very good for you. Have a nice smoothie, put some Gut Renew in it. You can put it in your yogurt or whatever. And these are not bottom line cheap, but they're not that expensive either. And they always have deals. So there you go. Happy birthday, Sue A. And may you have many more. I can't believe it, man. Is that really true that we're 2 hours and 13 minutes in? I didn't even realize we went past 2 hours. So thank you, Elaine Peterson. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, I love to talk about those ripped jeans. Well, I see them in other places, I mean, that's it's not unpleasing for a man to see that, Depends on who's in them. I mean, if you're going to put the women of the View on it, I mean, well, two of the women on the View, I wouldn't want to see that, Amen, Ted Richards? And what did I say that could possibly garnish an amen at this point? Nancy, when you went to Household of Faith, did you notice that Walina, what is that word? Avoided pictures. People get her from the back of her head, yeah. I did. And Pastor Bob also said that she doesn't like her picture taken. I don't blame her. Okay. Good night, Christian. Thank you, Christian Tackett, for dropping by, saying happy birthday to Sue. I see our other friends seem to disappear. They realize there's just no fun to be had here. I don't automatically go for the kill switch. We give them time to think about it, and maybe they could even be nice and whatever, I don't know. Jack, don't blame him for having protection. I sure don't. I want him to have as much protection. I believe it should be 24 hours. I happen to believe in the two Bob Joyce theory. I believe they should both have protection 24 hours a day. The amount of people with Elvis derangement syndrome that would rather know he's dead than to know they've been deceived or deceived, as you say, if you know what I mean. If you know what it always makes me think of the Neil Diamond song. And I love Neil Diamond. We'll look at Georgia Peach, $5 on the thanks button. Thank you, Georgia Peach. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And please thank Jerry Bridges as well. Let's see here. I don't like my picture being taken either, says Tammy Griffin. Good night, Todd. I'm not sure where you were from. Were you with the chap from West Virginia? But I'm glad you stopped by for Worldwide Ramblings. And thank you, Todd. Happy birthday, Sue. Thank you so much, Todd Bradshaw, my buddy there. I hope the new camera looks good when you see it. Can't thank you enough, Todd. You've just been there for me in a very big way. And oh yeah, I was talking about that I do have anxiety and I take Xanax, but I really don't take it for the anxiety. I take it to quiet my mind that's always thinking about things at night, Now, when Karen has her surgery, I'm going to be over there with her all the time, It's kind of a small room that she has, if you've been in duplexes. I got the biggest room in the house, which was her parents' bedroom. I've turned into a studio. I always know when the father is upset with me because he scratches me. I wake up with a scratch that I don't think I did myself. So thank you, Georgia Peach, $5. But, I think anybody that thinks about things and what have you in the fourth quarter, even if you're a person of faith, you have periods of doubt. You have periods of, I'm not doing enough that I should be doing. And that's true. That's true in terms of my spiritual walk. So just do better, As Mark Lowry, who I'm referring to you to watch him on Facebook, check out join his live, sometimes live or replay sing-alongs. He says, just take steps. Don't worry about where you are. Just take steps. You can't get closer to God if you're not taking steps. You got to take the steps, Makes sense. Princess Sarah Joyce Patton. My husband never dated and never married Willina, and my husband's stage name has always been Elvis Aaron Presley. Well, you're an interesting person. First statement, too. Why don't you email me and tell me all about it? Because it could be a good email. jackthefairguy@gmail.com. Jack the Fair guy, like you're going to the carnival fair, jackthefairguy@gmail.com. Other than that, let's see how creative you are. I don't know. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm from a small town called Madisonville that's in Tennessee, about an hour from Knoxville. Well, I have passed Knoxville. That's where you have to make that decision as to which way you're going when you're going down to Florida, right? I made the Tennessee decision. I made the Kentucky decision when I meant to make the right. I made a left into Tennessee and into Kentucky, and was seeing signs all of a sudden for the original KFC. Well, I'll read another one, Princess. Many people will be in great, big, huge shock of their lives because you've all been lied to your whole lives. Huh. Okay, Tammy Griffin, if you have anxiety your whole life, you may want to look into genetic testing. Well, it's funny because genetic testing, I don't know about genetic testing, but we do have the ancestry.com that's just been sitting there that I've got to put my saliva on something. I believe it's the MTHR gene cam, have a variant that does allow you, you're giving me big words here, to methylate certain minerals that can cause an issue. Mike Moser, Sale Creek. I always forget that. I know it's Sale something, but Sale Creek, Tennessee. Nice town. You've been there. So either of you guys have any of those 80-mile winds? We're going past, and people are still with us. So, there's no rule that says I can't go a little longer unless YouTube decides that. We're getting into the overnight hours now. Tammy's going to try to figure that out. All of a sudden, look who's here. Jerry Bridges, who I mentioned before. Jerry with an I here. You're funny. From Grandview, Tennessee. So you guys have any of the remnants from what happened in that poor London, Kentucky? Pretty much wiped them off the map, right? At least certain parts of, I know that tornadoes are not like hurricanes. They have a path. But people lost everything, People lost everything. Well, Princess Sarah, you're turning out to be entertaining, if nothing else. I don't know if we'd want a weekly dose of this. My father-in-law's real name was never Vernon. Ted Richards, that is a true statement where we have been lied to most of our lives. Now I got to figure out what you're saying, Ted. You're going to give me a headache. I'm a Tennessee boy, says Mike Moser. That's America, right? That's America. As I say, my Karen's cousin, Bobby Reed, BobbyReed.com. He's very talented. He's never really made it into the big time, but he's been in 1,000 different things. BobbyReed.com. Karen gets a real kick out of the Karen Reed trial that I think is still happening. Now, she spells her name R-E-A-D, but all her friends kid her about it. Say, I see you're having a second trial now for running over your was he your husband or the boyfriend? Tragic thing. Police officer. Whatever happened, I do not know, but that seems to be never ending. I made friends with a regular who is coming to stay with us in July. I think she means household of faith, right? I'm hoping she'll bring me a cookbook. She was so kind as to gift me with her necklace that I compliment her on it. Huh. Loving our move to Tennessee, says Tammy with an I. You haven't made your donut run, Todd. You're holding your donut run, or you're thinking that, maybe it's not a health food after all. I didn't discover that until my 40s. I mean, they told me at Hershey Park, they told me on the tour there, they were pumping in the smell of chocolate as we were on the tram. They told me basically a Hershey bar is a pure health food. 100% pure cane sugar, Todd. 100% pure cane sugar. Eh? Oh, dear. Todd's a donut man. Yeah, I guess so. I love me a donut. Still haven't been to Daddy's Donuts. Oh, Todd, come on down. Come on. I don't know if it's down or across or whatever it is. Up. I guess it's up, right? To north. Come on up, come around for the Jimmy Stir Summerfest, July 20th. We won't be available the 19th because we'll be at Lyndhurst to see the Dark Shadows reunion there we're very excited about. So it's hard to know when to schedule this surgery, and because we don't know the recovery time, These are life experiences, including Karen's 50th class reunion, which is on the 20th. I got to send that check out. That's another thing I got to do. 4K camera. And I got to send that out. I got to send that out for Karen's 50th reunion. Since I dropped out in 9th grade, I'll know people there, but they'll know that I didn't graduate. I'm just with the person who did. And they'll say, "You're with Karen Reed? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Who would have thunk that? In 65, she barely talked to me. She said I tried to trip her once. That means I must have liked her. But all I remember is I had this huge crush on, well, several people, if I'm going to be honest. And one of them was at the top of the list was Ruth Ann Cortez, who lives in South Carolina now. Should she ever hear this or see this, she'll say, "Oh God, he just mentioned my name." It's her maiden name though. And she was Italian as Italian could be, and cute as a button. Her short black hair. Oh my goodness. She wore my ID bracelet for like 3 days in the 6th grade, and I was in heaven. I was in heaven. Purely heaven. I don't know, Belinda, I'm just all over the map. How cool that would have been. Are you planning to return? Who's that question for? There's only one Pastor Bob Joyce, and it's my husband, Pastor Bob, in all the pictures. And we don't think Pastor Bob is really married. And in my neck of the woods, we think Robert Wayne Joyce is married to Walina. That's me. There are people here that don't believe that at all. Robert Wayne Joyce, who married Walina Hattie in 1975, not the pastor you see most Sundays at Household of Faith. This is such a confusing story. Who would have ever thought this story would go on and on and on, on and on, on and on, on and on. I can't think of another lyric from Stephen Bishop. I mean, it's there, but I just can't bring it forth, It was a good song, too. Well, you are certainly interesting, Princess Sarah. I can tell you, you're original. Not for sure on this. Could be in the running for Jack's longest live, right? Coming to 2.5 hours. You're onto something there, Ted. Maybe so. I'll have like one of those radiothons. I need $5,000, and I'm staying on till I get it. Oh man, I'll tell you. Karen and I were having a conversation about that, and about somebody, not about this, but about someone that if they wanted to do this or that, they could do it, and it would be like pocket change to them. They have so much money, and you can't take it with you. In August, the news media will be at the church with my husband, myself, and our 2 new bodyguards. Well, you can't get Dan Bongino because he's busy working in the Secret Service or the CIA. Secret Service it was supposed to be. Is it the CIA or the Secret Service? I don't know. What could I ask you, Princess, that you would know if you were really telling the truth? There's a question that I could probably come up with. But, FBI? He works in the FBI, Georgia Peach? Huh. Well, Kash Patel is running the FBI, and I didn't realize that Dan Bongino was second in command. You could be right. Princess blah, blah, blah. We aren't biting. Well, I don't even have a fishing pole, Nancy DeMarco, because actually, why would I? I've never fished. My dad died when I was 11. No one ever wanted to take me fishing. And guess what? I never had a desire to go fishing. I desire to sit in a nice Maine restaurant and they bring some beer battered cod to my table. That's what I enjoy. I don't know if we'll be able to afford Maine this summer or if Karen will even be able to go, but I'm hoping. So let's see here. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's just wild staying on this long. I don't want to wear out my welcome, though, Don't want to wear out my welcome. We'll be back Saturday night, Lord willing, at 10 p.m. East Coast time. But at the same time, Nancy, she's kind of fun. I mean, she's not mean, We've had some mean ones, haven't we? We had to get rid of. I mean, imagine if she wrote a whole book on this. I'd read it. Hey, Covey, and you come on. See, we stay on, and Dr. Woodard comes on. I say that because he's one of the beloved Dark Shadows characters, and I know that I've said this to you before. And there were three of them. The first one was just an okay actor, older gentleman, fine. I'm not going to say anything bad about him, but he only did a few episodes, and then they realized the role was going to get big. They needed a better actor. Then they got Robert Granger, and he was phenomenal as Dr. Woodard. Then there was a strike with the technicians, and Robert didn't want to cross the picket line, and that opened up the door to Peter Turgeon to play Dr. Woodard for like the 5 or 6 more episodes before he gets killed by Barnabas. And Peter was excellent. He was excellent. But number 2, Dr. Woodard by Robert Granger was the very best. Very best. So what have you been up to, Colby, before I read scripture? Robin Roman, that's kind of ironic. I have a 14-year-old golden retriever, and I don't like leaving her. Oh, I know. But they just take over your life. It's tough. I mean, you really got to be a dog person, Then you got to bring them on your vacations, and yes, there's hotels or motels that accept pets, and then you're trying to leave them in the room, which I'm surprised they let them, and then they're just barking hysterically, and you say, we can't leave them here. Go have a nice dinner, because they're going to bark the whole time we're away. So it's a real problem. You have to have a person who's going to stay and be like your dog sitter. I think I've solved the proper problem, Jupiter's Realm. What does Karen think of this Elvis Bob Joyce story? Very good question. Never been asked that before. What does she think of it? She is happy with my success. She's happy for me that here in 69, 9 months away from being 70 years old, that I have found a fan base and a success that I never really achieved in radio, although I had people that would tell me they enjoyed listening to me and call me on the request line and stuff like that. So she's happy for that. She's happy, certainly, that it helps pay the bills. She's happy for that. And so I say, Karen, there are people wishing you well here. And she's a very shy person. And I really want you to come on with me. And I'm still working on it. You don't have to stay long, half an hour. I'll lead you in, I'll lead the conversation. And I bet you before you know it, you'll take off and I'll just shut my mouth and there you go, But it's hard to get her to say yes, but I want to make that happen. I know for a fact my husband never dated and never married Willina. Well, no, because your husband is married to Robert Wayne Joyce. I mean, your husband is not married to Willina. That's the way I should have said it. And my husband said he wished he had never told you all that. You don't, when you look like Pastor Bob Joyce, you don't have to say too much. When your voice sounds like Elvis and what have you, he knew exactly what was going to happen in 2011 when he came on YouTube. But I think he felt the Lord saying, I'll take care of this. We'll keep it contained. I want you to preach my word. And I want other people to hear it besides the people of Benton, Arkansas. So he gave him a piece about going on YouTube and provided John Cook to make that happen for him. So other than that, good night to all. Thank you, Ted Richards. Prayers for all in need tonight. There's so many in need out there, including you. Glad to catch you on tonight. Oh, let's pick up the good book. So we close tonight. Jody, Princess Elvis Cushion was on camera and said it wasn't Elvis in the box at the funeral. Belinda, I reported to you my husband and to the military. It gets more. How bizarre. How bizarre. Good night, Ted. Thank you. God bless you. I'm very proud of you, Ted, for not having donuts tonight. I mean, Todd. Oh, tell you. Here in New York, we have great pizza. We have great bakery. I went to Di Filippi's bakery on Sunday to get some bran muffins. They make the best bran muffins with raisins. They're big, and they sell them like 40 miles, 50 miles out. Every diner has them and what have you, and of course ups the price, but go to the source and they'll be cheaper. But of course, while I was buying my bran muffins, Todd, I don't think I have to tell you this, I looked over at that. I call them eclairs, but everybody else says eclairs. Okay, eclairs. I saw those eclairs there. Just the bubbling with, it's not real custard, but it's close. It's better than the standard vanilla cream in Italian bakeries. And then I got a couple of cookies to go with it. I'm thinking other people now. What does Karen want and what have you? Of course, I gave her an eclair, but I had one myself. And I know what Andy likes. He likes the jelly donuts. Let's see here. Been staying in Psalms a lot. We're in the New King James Version. Psalm 88, we'll read part of it. Verse 1, O Lord God of my salvation, I have cried out day and night before you. Let my prayer come before you. Incline your ear to my cry. For my soul is full of troubles, and my life draws near to the grave. I am counted with those who go down to the pit. I am like a man who has no strength, adrift among the dead, like the slain who lie in the grave, whom you remember no more, and who are cut from your hand. You have laid me in the lowest pit, in darkness, in the depths. Your wrath lies heavy upon me, and you have afflicted me with all your waves. You have put me away from acquaintances, far from me. You have made me an abomination to them. I am shut up, and I cannot get out. My eyes waste away because of my affliction. Lord, I called upon you daily. I have stretched out my hands to you. Will you work wonders for the dead? Shall the dead arise and praise you? Shall your loving kindness be declared in the grave, or your faithfulness in the place of destruction? Shall your wonders be known in the dark, and your righteousness in the land of forgetfulness? But to you I have cried out, O Lord, and in the morning my prayer comes before you. Lord, why do you cast off my soul? Why do you hide your face from me? We've all felt like this, haven't we? I have been afflicted and ready to die from my youth. I suffer your terrors. I am distraught. Your Fierce wrath has gone over me. Your terrors have cut me off. They came around me all day long like water. They engulfed me altogether. Loved one and friend, you loved one and friend you have put far from me. It's always difficult to change when they're really thin. There's a page there, maybe not. You have covered him with shame. How long, O Lord, will you hide yourself forever? Will your wrath burn like fire? Remember how short my time is. For what futility have you created all the children of men? What man can live and not see death? Can he deliver his life from the power of the grave? Lord, where are your former loving kindness, which you swore to David in your truth? Remember, Lord, the reproach of your servants, how I bear in my bosom the reproach of all the many peoples, with which your enemies have reproached, O Lord, with which you have reproached the footsteps of your anointed. And then he concludes in the last verse, blessed be the Lord forevermore. Amen and amen. Psalm 89. Wow. I have not read that before, and if I have, noticed it. So read Psalm 89. Interesting. We've all been down in despair, haven't we? It's early afternoon, 2:30 for me, says Jackie Oregon. Well, it's almost 1:45 for me in the morning. And so thank you, everybody. Thank you for all those that hit the thanks button. Thank you for those that just came in to view and be part of the family tonight. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, Georgia Peach, for hitting the thanks button. And I don't know how far back I'm going to be able to go back. Then I get also 3 Severed Heads, $20 on the thanks button. And there were more before that, and all those that hit the Cash App as well. I see your email, Tammy with an I. Thank you, everybody. Oh boy, now I've got another video to do, and it's 1:45 in the morning. Oh dear. It'll be a short one though, so I can do it. Got to get up a little earlier than usual, but I won't be going to the dentist because the dentist fired me. And I haven't even met the dentist. Now I got to find a new dentist. I don't want to travel into Yonkers to go to the dentist. Oh, well, we'll see what happens. I'll come up with something. Thanks for watching Worldwide Ramblings Wednesday into Thursday, everybody. Talk to you Saturday at 10 p.m. East Coast time, US of A. Remember Christari in your prayers. Remember Katrisa, that's Katrina's daughter. We'll show you her perhaps on Saturday night. And I put notes and then forget where I put them. Oh, yes. Brenda Sweeney was in a car accident. Keep her in your prayers. Deborah Lake, Brenda Noyce as well. And Ted Richards, and so many have needs. And keep the people in Kentucky in your prayers. There was supposed to be more bad weather coming. London, Kentucky, and other places. Keep them in your prayers because they're some of them lost everything. Jack Willard is my name. I appreciate you so much. Bye-bye for now.